Gents, I just want to pause the episode for a moment to let you know about the Strong Men of Value Academy. You will have heard me refer to it a number of times, and I want to bring more attention to it. So this isn't just a program, it's a life-changing environment and community of men who are focused on personal and professional growth. We're looking at areas of relationships, wealth, and health, things to help you thrive and maximize your life. Imagine having bi-monthly one-on-one coaching sessions with myself, weekly group coaching calls, and an incredible brotherhood of high achievers by your side. Now we're diving into resilience, leadership, and holistic growth to not just succeed in your career, but to thrive in your health and your relationships. Your journey to greatness, it starts here. So join the movement and you can apply for the Strong Men of Value Academy. You can head to themanthatcanproject.com to find out more. Those who plan for success achieve success. The Man That Can Project podcast, a podcast empowering career-driven men to live more fulfilling lives. We are here to challenge your beliefs, redefine success, and talk about the important stuff in a relatable way. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. My name's Lachlan Stuart. Let's get into it. Anyone that you follow, any sports team that you follow, celebrity, they have all had a plan. They have had a desired outcome. And because they have had that desired outcome in mind, they have been able to look out for what they need to do in order to make that happen. So today I want to share with you in under 20 minutes how you can map out and make 2024 your most successful year yet. And if you go back through my YouTube videos, I've done this presentation every year, I think since 2020, and I've refined it and made it shorter and more simple because I think in the beginning, I was just overwhelmed and so excited with what I thought you had to do in order to achieve success. But what I've realized, it just needs to be simple. It needs to be something that you can focus on daily and chip away at in order to achieve a greater outcome in 12 months' time. So that sounds good to you. Continue listening on. But I remember I never used to plan for a total of 12 months. That's why I continued living week to week. For anyone who's living week to week, it's because they aren't planning for the future. They either may be living in the moment, I'll just see what happens, or they just don't know how to think big picture. It may be overwhelming. There may be low self-esteem. You may not know how to get to where you want to get to. And that is okay. That is a very common thing. But I want you to know if that is you, like it was me, don't allow that to be the reason why you don't achieve success. So what I'm going to give you today will be very simple, and it will be something that you can act on and understand that whatever growth you achieve this year, it's beneficial. You guys will have heard me talk about this so much, but in 2014 when I started business, I decided I wanted to earn $1 million. It was the first time I'd really set like a 12-month goal, or at least intentionally. When I was playing rugby and football and various other sports, we always had a season goal, right? And let's look at that as 12 months. Play sport in 12-month cycles roughly. So we had an outcome, and it was to win the grand final. That was just given, especially as you go from playing, I guess, kids sport to moving up to semi-professional and professional. It's like, that's what you're here to do. And so when I am speaking to you, or if I was speaking to you face to face and we were sitting down together, I'd be asking you the goal that you're working towards. Do you treat it as if you're, under 15 years old where it doesn't really matter? Or are you semi-professional? Or do you want to go pro? Are you professional with that goal? Because depending on how you view it, will, I guess, inspire or give you a marker of how detailed your planning needs to be around achieving this outcome. So I'm going to give you the framework that I use every year, and I'll make it very simple that you can go away from here and implement it into your own life. And once again, goal setting is a skill as well. So don't just think that you do it once and you'll nail it. Life happens to all of us. And 2014, I set that goal. It was a very complicated goal. And I also wasn't honest with where I was at. I thought I was much better, and I thought it was so easy to make $1 million just because I had enthusiasm. Wrong. So over the years, I've had to become more real with myself and be honest around where I'm at and what has to happen in order for me to be able to, I guess, go to level 2 and then level 3. And I believe, let's assume earning $1 million a year, you need to be level 10. I was probably in the negative levels. So I've had to develop skills, change my environment, learn to focus, all of these things have helped me upgrade my level to the point where it's like 2024 is my $1 million year. So here we are. Let's go. How do we plan? So we start with what we want, right? What do you want? It's the goal. 12 months. What is the biggest goal that you have? And the one that, if you were to choose that goal, would help you have the most successful year, or you feel like you would have the most successful year. For me, that is $1 million year. You may be asking, what about your health? Or it's not all about money, or what about your family? I know that by achieving this $1 million goal, it's going to improve and allow me to focus more on my health. I'll be able to have better health care. I'll be able to buy more organic foods, etc. I'll also have more time to cook. And from a relationship standpoint, I'll be able to support my wife better and myself better. We'll be able to have nice holidays, maybe have a chef that cooks so we get time back together. So I want you to think about these things. Don't just look through a goal as it's just that one thing that's so selfish. Understand, and this is why I think the big goal that you should attack every year should be broken down into milestones, and have a few other fun activities that go with it, but don't necessarily pull you back from what you want to achieve. So that big 12-month goal for me is $1 million year. I've broken that down into quarterly milestones, and I'm not going to go into a heap of detail around it. We'll do this in our academy call, but essentially I'm always looking at health, wealth, relationships. Earning more money does allow me to do and become better at that because it amplifies who I am and I care about those things. So money will amplify who you are. So make sure your goal, the big one that you're going to give 365 days of complete attention and focus to, is one that you feel is going to help you achieve and tick off some other goals in your year as well. As I was saying on a recent interview, this year I wanted to run 30 marathons in 30 days, but I also want the $1 million year. Doing and achieving 30 marathons in 30 days is going to take a whole month, if not more, out of my year moving towards the $1 million goal. So it's a bit detrimental. So I've actually moved that challenge to the following year. Whereas if I achieve, once again, the $1 million goal, it's going to tick off a lot more goals like that. So some milestones for me is going to be able to fly my family over to Nashville to visit me. I'm going to be able to fly myself and Amy to a nice holiday destination, which if you follow along this year, you'll find out where that is. Okay. And then I've got, I'll have to get my phone, it's there, a few other weekly, quarterly milestones around members and testimonials to make sure that we're still delivering an incredible service and our academy keeps growing there. So what it looks like, and here we go, 12-month goal. Once you've established your 12-month goal, we then need to break that down into our quarterly milestones. So what has to happen in quarter 3 in order to make your 12-month goal a reality? What has to happen by the end of quarter 2 in order to put you on track to achieve your quarter 3, which will achieve your final year? And where do you need to be at the end of your first quarter? So when you create milestones, you're now looking at targets to, one, inspire and motivate you, but they're also checkpoints, because at each checkpoint, you're either going to be on track or you're going to have fallen behind. Now, depending on which side of or where you're at on that, you'll then now go through a new checklist. What do I need to do to get back on track? What have I been doing that isn't necessarily delivering the results? Or if you're on the flip side where you're killing it, it's like, let's do more of what we're doing, and you can probably fast track your results, or just continue doing what you're doing and stay on track to achieve your goal for the year. How do we then work our quarterly goals, our quarterly milestones? We then break it down into monthly, right? For some of us, if you look always 12 months down the track, it can be overwhelming. Many people, when they experience overwhelm, don't act, okay? So if we can get you to break out of overwhelm and more into certainty and action by breaking things down into bite-sized chunks, then that's going to be more productive, because you can focus on what's in front of you, and then you can look up when you need a bit of motivation and inspiration, or maybe days where you're questioning, why am I doing this? Okay, so it's very important to look at it like that. From the monthly, same thing. You know where you need to be at the end of quarter 1. So where do we need to be at the end of month 2? Where do we need to be at the end of month 1, in order to know we're on track? We're just, once again, breaking it down. It is a lot of work. But by thinking about where you need to be and creating these milestones, you're also now starting to think about, okay, if I'm to do that, what do I need to do? For me this year, we've got a great number of members, but we want to triple that. And in order to do that, I've looked at why hasn't that happened in the past and what are our options in order to make that happen in the future. I've never paid for advertising. Okay, so paid advertising is going to come into play this year. That should fast track us getting in front of more people. I'm going to be more specific with the guests that we get on the show. I'm going to have more phone calls and cold outreach this year in order to make that happen. So now what I'm doing is I'm giving myself monthly targets for that, which will then flow into weekly actions. Okay, from those weekly actions, we then have our daily actions. And what I think is important at each of these phases, from daily actions to weekly actions to monthly actions, is to ask ourselves, what is the one thing or three things that if I were to only get those done today, they would make everything else that I thought I had to do easier or redundant, meaning they don't need to be done. Okay, that way it helps you focus on what it is, but you're always refining your process, because when you're getting that feedback, as I said earlier, you're either getting the outcomes or you're not. Okay, and if you are getting the outcomes, keep doing it. You can even double down on it and get it done quicker. Or you need to work out how you can be more efficient and refine your processes to get back on track. And once you find that out, then we go to the original thing where it's like you double down on it or you keep on the path that you're on. So when we're looking at, obviously that framework there, you've got 12-month goal, you've got quarterly milestones, monthly milestones, weekly milestones, then daily actions. Okay, very, very simple. So your daily actions should be moving you to your weekly milestones. Your weekly milestones should be moving you to your monthly milestones. Your monthly milestones should be moving to your quarterly milestones, and your quarterly milestones should be guiding you to your 12-month goal. Very simple. Now, so we don't get bored, so we don't have our relationships fall apart, we don't lose our health, which I'm a big believer that you shouldn't sacrifice that for money and career progression. Okay, regardless of what your goal is, you need to consider all of them. I believe that is complete mastery, right? It's number 6 in our Strong Men Are Valued framework, is you're mastering your health, your wealth, and relationships. And what that looks like to you, right? But mastery is the same, where you're continually growing. But we want to think about work, we want to think about fun, we want to think about your personal development, we want to think about your relationships, and we want to think about your health. So when I'm mapping out a 12-month plan, and I would have had the photo here, the planner here like I always do, but I ordered one off Amazon here in the States, and it came rolled up. It wasn't already framed. So I've had to order another one because I'm not, it's no good to me. If I can't hang it anywhere, I'm not going to look at it. So what I have then thought about is, okay, I know what my milestones are to achieve the $1 million year, but what other things do I want to do that are important to me? I've got 3 significant things mapped out with my wife, Amy, for that we want to achieve, that we believe are going to improve our relationship. So we've got those scheduled in the calendar. I then look at, health challenges. I love challenging myself, as you guys know who follow along. So at the moment, I'm currently doing the 5-kilometer challenge. Then I want to do a marathon this year and a high rocks. I've got those scheduled in the calendar. So those dates are put in, and I also will be training towards those. Okay, tick. And then I've got fun, so some experiences. I've got a Yellowstone trip, and I've got, not the Rockies, it's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, it'll come back to me, but I've got another thing mapped out. So that in 12 months' time, even though I'm progressing and really focused on that $1 million year, I've still lived. I've still invested in my relationship and created some great experiences. I've still had fun and traveled and had adventures. I've still worked on my health and satisfied my needs there. And I've also invested in myself. So what development courses do I need to do for the year to help me upskill in the areas that are going to add value to myself? And so if you think about that in the planning phase, you can then look and do your research and schedule it into your calendar. So that way, when you're looking at your 12-month planner around what's coming up, it's like, okay, well, I can't commit to a barbecue there because I've already committed to this. And you're always putting your goals first, right? You're not being, reactive to what's coming to you when people say, hey, do you want to do this? Or do you want to do that? Or why are you doing this? Or why are you doing that? You can say, hey, I really appreciate the offer or the opportunity or whatever it may be. Let me just check my calendar and I'll get back to you, right? Highly important thing there. So to summarize this and wrap it up, to plan your year in under 20 minutes, I've delivered that. But you need to now invest the time in yourself to plan. And if you would like some help with that, join the academy. We've got an awesome process there. And It's something that we spend our whole year prioritizing because that's how we break down our 12-month game, our 12-week game plan that our members use to stay on track each quarter. But ultimately, get your 12-month goal, get your quarterly milestones, monthly milestones, weekly milestones, and your daily actions within that 12-month plan when you're putting it out on a calendar, because you have to schedule it. If you don't schedule it, it's not going to happen. Think about what you want to do for fun. Think about what you want to do for work. Think about what you want to do for growth. Think about what you want to do for your relationships and what you want to do for your health. Schedule things in there so that you know that if all you do is follow that plan, you're going to have a fantastic year. You'll look back in 12 months' time and go, I'm so glad I listened to that podcast, and I'm even more proud of myself for actually doing it, not just letting it be another thing that fell on deaf ears. So my name is Lachlan Stuart. I'm the founder of the Man That Can Project. We run the Strong Men of Value Academy. And if you feel you want support with making 2024 your best year yet, we have an incredible set of tools, workshops, and a community that's serving men all around the world and helping them become the best version of themselves. You can apply to be part of that at themanthatcanproject.com. And finally, if you feel someone else in your life will get value from it, please share this with them. Hit the subscribe button so you get notified every Monday and every Thursday for our upcoming episodes. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the Man That Can Project podcast. My name is Lachie Stuart, and I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful. If you did, please take a moment to rate and review the Man That Can Project on your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with our newest episodes. We'll see you again next time.